guys, we can do an audio test whenever you're ready. It's just an audio test for the mics.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good evening. This is Steve at Topset Stadium. Good evening. And Nick on camera. How are you doing up there?
Perfect. Got you perfect.
All right.
Yep.
Peter now.
1, 2, 3. We're here at Topset Stadium. Welcome, everybody.
Yep. Got Peter as well.
That's good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
It'll probably fill up soon because the game hasn't started.
We'd like to take a brief moment to thank our corporate sponsors for the 2025 season. They include IMD Group, Topset Asphalt, Another Croatia Soccer Club, Croatian House, Melbourne and Geelong, Sheridan Homes, AHB Group, Black Crow Investments.
Home sweet home for the Knights as they return to the venue of their 2-win 2025 thus far. Ivan Franic's side suffered a horror Friday evening at Keilor Downs last Friday night. Boris Sarostin's young victory stars shone at Port Melbourne last week and are looking to continue on their winning ways. We will pause here for a minute's silence to acknowledge the life of Duye Zeminic, a legend of the Melbourne Knights, as the players are now out on the field to acknowledge him coming out to Australia from the Dalmatian region of Croatia in 1959. He would have been very happy with the performance by the Croatian national team at Split at the Polyud Stadium this morning, a 2-0 win over the French side in the UEFA Nations League. But Duye, a legend of the club, hat-trick on club debut here at the Knights. After just one training session on the Thursday, came in and scored a hat-trick. Welcome to the club. He was a junior coach here for a long time after injury, cut his career short. Mentored greats including Branko Kolina. Went on to be the senior team coach in the 70s, also a caretaker coach several times and head of technical and selection at the Melbourne Knights. Send our condolences to all friends and family of Duye, both here in Australia and back in Croatia. That minute silence for Duye Zeminic. Very much looking forward.
Ivan Franic will not be happy with last week's performance of the Melbourne Knights. One of the worst performances for the year, and they need to rebound. There's Melbourne victory, a lot of upside I can see, and the team's really coming together.
Well, let's have a look at those teams, Peter, as they are both out on the park for this one. There's 3 changes to the starting 11. Ivan Franic's side that went down 3-0 last week. Anthony Duzel dropping to the bench, and there's no Chris Oldfield out injured, and Miguel Cunha, who has been the spearhead of their back three, is also out. So it sees Gabriel Mate get a chance to start in goal, his first start in the league this season for the Knights. Also in defence, Ben Carrigan on game number 100 of NPL Victoria. Coming in, Stefan Baricevic to join Thomas Karlovic, the wing-backs, Dion Nicolaides and Fraser Dunlop. In central midfield, it's a start for Jack Morton alongside Steve White, and supporting Kieran Bramwell in attack, it's Kane Shepherd and Steve Lawes. We're getting underway here. There's 4 changes for Boris Sarostin's victory side that had that great win last week. There's no Insera, Menelau, Siciliano or Luka Kolic, who misses out on the chance to play this old team, and Knights looking to do some attacking early in this one. So it sees Daniel Graskowski get a chance in goal. So you see the young boy Wall getting on the ball here, scored early to open proceedings last week is Minatoli. Knights allowing too much space in the penalty area early on. They're able to scramble the ball away. said, we'll just complete that starting lineup for Victory. Coming in at right back, Raymond Deho to join last week's defence of Damien Bozanowski, John Radomisis and Tabena Abani. Jack Mihalidis gets a start in midfield alongside Kane Razmoski. The ball comes in here. It's punched away. Victory looking to turn defence into attack here. Stasi Georgikopoulos, who played some football in Spain, gets a start. And that front three of last week, Austin Ganino on the left, Patrick Wall on the right. Here he is on the ball now. And Thomas Minatoli, the goal-scoring extraordinaire, is the spearhead up front. So, yeah, 4 changes there, which you don't see often after a 3-0 win, Peter.
No, you don't, but Melbourne Victory got a big squad. 44 players are listed in terms of their NPL men's senior squad. A lot of those players, obviously, in the second team. They've got a wider range of talent, so they can alternate, they can change players and give opportunities to players week in, week out who are, need an opportunity. So that's one good thing about having that big roster.
Absolutely right, Peter, as we see the Knights in possession to the southern end of Topset Stadium here, the left of your screen at home. Morton getting a touch there, getting a start in central midfield, so Giselle dropped to the bench after that performance at Green Gully last week. Trying to get something going here. This is Wall, the 18-year-old from North Geelong Warriors. Goal on his senior debut after celebrating his 18th birthday earlier in the week. What a good start that was to his senior NPL career. Scanino. Out wide is Obani, getting forward from left back. Looking to get around his opponent, which is Dunlop. Second top scorer is the wing back for Victory this season. Trying his luck from distance as Mihalidis, and he rattles the sanction.
Yeah, I've been watching Mihalidis. He's not shy to take a shot. Interestingly, that the Melbourne Knights have 3 at the back. Looks like they've got 2 in front and then playing another 2. So not really traditionally wing backs, and 3 up front. So pretty unusual. Normally this year, the Melbourne Knights set up with a 5-3-2. It seems like it's a little bit more different today. The 3 at the back and 4 in the midfield and 3 up front. Victory look like a 4-4-2. Stephen?
Yeah, definitely out of possession. They're shaping up that way. Peter, we'll see if they slide into more of a 4-2-3-1 with the ball, perhaps. Knights giving away the ball a little bit too easy here. And here is Dio getting his chance to start tonight at right back. Dio, another one of the players who was at North Geelong last season in the VPL1, 20 appearances in the matchday squad there. Here he is, getting on the ball again. Plenty of space for him to shuffle up across the halfway line. Another former North Geelong boy in Wall getting on the ball. So those two will be familiar with each other across a couple of clubs now. Down the right-hand side for Victory, here's Steve White. Combining with Shepherd. Can't miss him in those yellow boots out there.
No, you can't. Shepherd, a prominent player on this field, and you can see those, especially this evening with the lights on, shining with a lot of yellow, or I should say, line boots.
So he's more looking to impress as switch of play. Out wide right is Dunlop. This is Steve White. Knight's trying to build something here, getting on to this ball. Bramwell got there first. Big collision in the penalty area. Here's Nicolaides. Just didn't sit for him on his left peg. He gets the shot away. And it was eventually punched away by Mr. Graskoski. And then the follow-up. Victory living dangerously here.
Melbourne Knights showing their intent early on. Very disappointed with the performance last week. Didn't really attack very well. But here they're on tonight, so we could get a really attacking game. I will say with Morton, he's ex-Victory, so he's got something to prove, ex-Melbourne Victory youth. And of course, you've got Karlovic as well, who's ex-Victory. So there's a couple of players. Obviously, we're not going to see College tonight, who was Knights, now gone to Victory. But yeah, some interesting narratives here tonight.
The intensity in the middle out there, Peter, is well and truly up. It's a fever pitch out there. That second attempt after the rebound, looking at that replay, the ball floated in for Kieran Bramwell. It was actually quite a good punch away by the keeper, Daniel Graskoski. We have a couple of young keepers on show tonight. Daniel Graskoski for the Victory, and Gabriel Matai deputising for the injured Chris Oldfield. So good to see a couple of younger faces getting opportunities there. Gabriel Matai, well, I say that he's actually 28 years of age, but maybe he's still young for a goalkeeper, Peter.
Well,
he's been around a while.
Still young in terms of his let's say, NPL appearances. You can say that.
Absolutely. Here's a chance for Wall, showing his pace. Youthful exuberance from this man as he floats the ball into the back post area. It's away by Dunlop. That's going to get there first. What a good attempt on goal it was by Steve White before, after that rebounded attempt that was initially cleared by Graskowski. There's Lawless, who's again playing in that more advanced role with as one of the 2 10s that we saw him play last week against Green Gully. Both he and Kane Shepherd supporting Kieran Bramwell in this system. It's a 3-5, something of a 3-5-2, or what are we going to call it? A 3-4-2-1 perhaps, Peter.
It's a bit of a hybrid actually, but I will say this, Victory have got a bit of a mid-block happening. They're pushing quite high into the midfield to try to get that turnover. So it's putting a little bit of pressure on the Knights, but that gives the Knights a chance to get behind.
Here's Shepherd. He's going to look to play the square ball here for Steve White. A couple of experienced faces combining. Kieran Bramwell dropping deep to pick up possession again. Just seeing if he can draw some of those Victory central defenders maybe out of position, but they've certainly held their defensive shape. Those two with a good understanding in central defence for Victory, as we saw last week. Keeping a clean sheet, John Radomisis and Damian Bozanowski. Bozanowski with the captain's armband. Here he is competing for the ball. Here is a big unit, Bozanowski, number 4, and he's done well here. Still just 19 years of age. He's probably still growing as well.
Yeah, he's played the percentages there. Good to get that back for Victory. Very important. Both these teams, the last 3 games, only 1 win. That was 3-0, I think, against Port Melbourne, but have lost the 2 other games. So this could be an evenly matched affair.
Yeah, it's hard to split these 2 sides, and it could be hard to split them at the end of the season as well, perhaps. So it just means that the points on offer tonight are absolutely vital, as O'Barney's ball forward, looking to combine with Ganino down that left-hand side. Those 2, so a couple of players that we saw with a good understanding of each other's game last week. O'Barney keen to get forward and try and create overloads down that left-hand side for Victory. And here's Ben Carrigan, another former Victory player. Game number 100 in NPL Victoria for Carrigan, so congratulations to him. 26 appearances for the Knights and a goal last season.
Very, very good career, Carrigan. 100 games in the NPL. It's an amazing feat, and we're seeing a lot of players this year celebrate anniversaries, or celebrating 50 or 100 games. So, and it's good that we have those stats. We sometimes didn't have them a few years ago, but now we do have those stats to show that a lot of these players have had a very good career in the NPL or in the A-League previously.
Absolutely right. And 6 senior A-League appearances for Ben Carrigan with the Melbourne Victory, and of course made his debut in the ACL against the Korean side Daegu back in 2019. Doesn't seem that long ago, but time flies, doesn't it? We're already here in season 2025, and we're already in round 8 of the competition. Both of these sides desperate for wins. Melbourne Knights just the 2 wins from their 6 starts, both of them coming at home, so we'll have some confidence about this. As this ball's played forward for Ganino, he's going to get there before it reaches the byline. He's got Breshevic to beat. Waits it over the back post area. Knights just about able to clear it away. Lawless. Not sure if he meant to go that way around his opponent Michaelides, but it almost worked. Michaelides was well placed with the socks down in the centre of the park. It's like an old-fashioned deep-line playmaker in there, Peter. You're a fan of his game, though.
I am a fan of his game because he's coming in deep, but he's also, as you saw before earlier, that he's pushed up forward and had that opportunity with that long shot. So he's moving between the channels here in the midfield, and I don't think at the moment he's been marked that effectively by the Melbourne Knights players.
As we saw, he's got a decent shot on him too. He's already fired a warning shot, and there's a chance here for Minatoli, and it's well played by Stefan Breshevic, who's lining up. He's lining up in the centre of the back 3, but it is in fact Ben Carrigan who's lining up in the centre of the back 3. So Miguel Cunha, who's such a tall presence, who's been fulfilling that role so far this season as our match referee, who throws a little dummy in there, Jock Quartermain.
Good to see flamboyant referees.
Good skills.
Yeah, I was a referee a long time ago, 20 years ago, and great to see a bit of flamboyance in the game.
This is Karlovic on the ball, yet another former Victory talent as well. So many of these players lined up for both sides. It's a shame Luka College is not out there, not in the squad for Victory tonight. As we said, a couple of those players who started last week for Victory in Sarah, Siciliano, College and Menelaua, all not there. We know they've got no Jink Reese, who is on international duty with the under-23s. And they'll be playing tomorrow against Qatar. And they had a good 2-1 win against Croatia during the week as well.
Yeah, look, this year has been very interesting for the Australian youth teams, if we can call them that. Obviously winning the AFC Cup and also, you know, having some great results. And I won't discount, obviously, the Socceroos yesterday, but we're seeing a turn, and I'm going to talk a bit about it later, if you let me, Stephen, about the pathways and what Melbourne Victory are trying to do here with some of the younger players.
Certainly a lot of announcements for Victory this season, both on and definitely off the field, and making some moves out in Melbourne's northern suburbs, out in the Beveridge region as well, which is an exciting announcement that we heard recently, with combining with the Mitchell Shire out there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, and I think at the end of the day, all the A-League clubs see the academy. We're a transfer market. We're a market where we're starting to export players, both on the men's and also the women's side, and you've got to play younger players. And here we are today with when these players here, Melbourne Victory, but not just Melbourne Victory, from all the NPL teams, younger players getting opportunities. There may be, you know, a future pro contract.
Here's Karlovic striding forward elegantly. He's going to play the ball out to the former Heidelberg side defender Nicolaides. Bramwell running into the channel. And again, that's good defence. Jack Mihalides getting back there again to do the dirty work. Getting on the ball here is Razmovsky, but he's turned it over. Lawless now. This is Dunlop. A little bit of space to get the cross in. It's well blocked, though, by Albani. It's back to Dunlop and all the way back to Brešević, enjoying getting the opportunity to play in the starting 11. Coming in for Cunha in that central defensive role as the ball's floated into the back post. A little bit too much on the cross. And it's going to run harmlessly across the face of goal, and it's going to be mopped up by Diho.
You mentioned Razmovsky. He was in the NPL Team of the Week last week, so he had a big game. Today he started a little bit slower. I think Michaelides is obviously really calling quite a bit of the shots in the midfield, but Razmovsky, very, very accomplished player, and I think he'll get more into the game, Stephen.
The Knights enjoying slightly edging the possession stakes so far in this one, if you have just joined us, but Victory have been dangerous on the break. A long warning shot from Mihalides, and also Minatoli as well, getting the ball in a couple of dangerous positions in the penalty area also. This is Nicolaides. Morton dropping deep to pick up possession here. Carrigan. Everyone behind the ball here for Victory. To absorb the pressure and then hit the Knights with their pace on the break. Knights can't afford to slip up and overcommit too many players forward in the build-up, and they've fluffed their lines here. Nicolaides flagged for offside, and it was a completely avoidable situation as well for the Knights.
It was avoidable. Nicolaides, who really impressed last year at Heidelberg, and now this year's really providing some. The Knights have the two big injuries. The other Heidelberg player that came across, Mars, is a big blow, X-Factor winger, really missing, and also we've got Krantz who's missing as well from that second round where he got injured. So two brutal injuries for the Knights. But Nicolaides is a form player and really needs to get behind the lines, but misread his run this time round.
Mention those injuries that the Knights suffered back in round 2. Really hard luck. Both of those new signings, Marzies and Parents, both getting injured within a matter of minutes in that disappointing Monday night game. The original rivalry taking place at Lakeside, that stadium. It was a sorry night for the Knights, as has been the case on the bulk of their travels so far this season. Long ball forward here for Patrick Wall, but Karlovic is going to get there first. He's going to play it safe, displaying the percentages there, and knocks it out of play.
Karlovic was one of the 40 or so players nominated by NPL coaches as young players to see that annual article we're getting on NPL Young Talents, and it's good to see that he's established himself within the Knights, Stephen.
There's a chance for Victory to enjoy a little bit of possession here. This is O'Barney receiving from Radamisis. Mises back on the ball. Nice figure of Bozanowski. Deho. This is Razmowski in the white boots, the number 6. Number 6 playing as a 6. We'll run you through those subs in a moment, but I do fancy seeing a club debut for Darcy Anastosky for the Melbourne Knights tonight. He's among the substitutes. Along with Alex Hurd, Anthony Duzel, a very young substitute goalkeeper, Harrison McDonald, is 18 years of age. Mark Pethriotis also on the bench, who was a decent player for Victory last season as well. Scored 7 times for the Victory side in the VPL1 championship season in 2024. Matasu Shiba as well, another option that can come on and do a job as the right wing back too. So plenty of options there for Ivan Franic. And a little bit more depth having Darcy Anastosky to come in and replace those 2 injured figures that we were just talking about earlier, Peter.
Yes, there's in terms of Darcy Anastosky, and we've been following this, Stephen. His registration, he's been had to go to Football Australia to get it through. But you mentioned the goalkeepers. We're seeing across the league a lot more young goalkeepers getting an opportunity. You see Noah James, who was in the NPL last year, getting an opportunity with Newcastle Jets and done so well to the last game. And we're seeing that a lot.
There's a chance for Victory, and it's going to be tapped home. It's set up by Wall, and it's finished off with aplomb by, that's Jack Mihalides. And first blood to the visitors here. And Victory up and running here at Knight Stadium. Continuing very much picking up where they left off at J.L. Murphy last Friday night. And what a key component to that goal was Patrick Wall's pace down the right-hand side.
It is an interesting story about, we'll talk about it later, about Patrick Wall. But Mihalides, look at the ground. We'll be talking about him from the start of the match. Look at the ground. Now look at the finish. Fantastic finish, great positioning, and just really put her away. No chance for the keeper. That is a fantastic finish for Mihalides, and really, he's the shining light at the moment for Melbourne Victory, and really showing his repertoire of skills.
He knew exactly where he needed to be there, making that run from the deep position, and perhaps that's why the Knights were completely unable to pick up the run of Jack Mihalides, arriving late in the penalty area, and the timing of the run was that of an experienced pro. He's just 18 years of age as he scores his 2nd of the season. He chipped in with 4 last season. A chance for a quick reply here for the Knights. Lawless with the snapshot, and it's just over the crossbar.
Yeah, Lawless is getting quite forward a couple of times, and really needs to, because at the moment they need a little push. And you know, that was an opportunity, a snapshot. Could have caught the keeper off guard, but Knights need to respond pretty much quickly in order to not fall behind.
Look at those options on the bench for Boris Sorosin tonight. Daniel Lazareski, who got on the score sheet off the bench last week, son of Nick, doing the business, laid on to ensure that they took all 3 points and boosted that goal difference as well. Also the Hoey twins, both Jordan and Jesse. And we see Parker Williams, who incurred a 1-match suspension for a red card a couple of weeks back. We've also got Charlie Borevsky, another 18-year-old. Just turned 18 on Tuesday, so it seems to be, Peter, that often these players, they're turning 18 and they're getting to play their debut, as we saw with Patrick Wall the following weekend.
As I mentioned, Victory got 44 players who can probably play. The oldest about 22, the youngest 17. So there's a lot of players 17 moving to 18 who are making their debut, and that's a very good opportunity for a lot of these young players to play NPL seniors. So, and they've got a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and it's good to see these new players coming on board. But today, Victory got their 5 players, and I'll go through this maybe a bit later. The 5 leadership team players are on the pitch at the moment.
Victory holding all the aces early in this one, the 1-0 lead. If you have just joined us, courtesy of Jack Mihalides, and it was set up expertly by the right winger Patrick Wall, who scored on debut last week. And there's a moment that Dion Nicolaides won't want to see on the replay when he gets home tonight.
No. I highly rate Nicolaides, especially from last year's performances, but You can't be beating like that. And Wall, it just gave the ball away. I was about to talk him up, but here we go.
Well, here's Bramwell. Oh, he's showing a clean pair of heels to the Knights, to the victory defence, should I say, but expert defending. Again, Damian Bosanowski, the 19-year-old in the captain's armband, really leading by example there.
Yeah, I mentioned the leadership team, all 5 on the pitch. Bosanowski, Razmovsky, Michaelidis, Ganino, and Minatu.
A chance from the corner kick here for the Knights. Swung in by Morton in that back post area. Acrobatically punched away it was by Graskowski, and it's going to be a free kick here just outside the penalty area. Handy position too for the Melbourne Knights. Maybe not quite the right position for a Steve White missile. He might prefer a little bit further across towards the Mark Viduka stand, but it might sit up nicely here for Jack Morton to float it into the back post area. Everyone back in defence for victory as the defensive line is on the edge of the 18-yard box.
Yeah, Jack Morton used to also plays 10 at victory, so he's got a very, very good pass and also a very good cross, so set piece.
The Knights need to get themselves back into this one. It's going to be Morton with a direct attempt and an acrobatic save to tip it away by Daniel Graskowski. Hats off to him, the young keeper being on his toes there when, well, it looked for all money from our position here. Morton was going to float that one to the back post. Went for the top left corner, and it really wasn't far away from being 1-1 as the corner comes in, taken very quickly, and it's repelled by that that victory defence. Here's Morton again, picking up the second ball. Good pressure from Deho, and victory might be able to come away here. Ganino showing his pace down that left-hand side in front of the victory fans who've gathered over there, and he might have been fouled there. Play on's the call. Referee Jock Quartermain, he's given the Knights the chance to play on. The tackle was all ball in his position. We must mention that before kickoff we did pay tribute to a Knights legend, Duje Zemljanik, nickname of Brenza, coming out from the Dalmatian region of Croatia in 1959. Become a legend at the Knights. Just one training session. He was billed down to a house in Geelong. He trained on the Thursday, played on the Saturday against Coburg, scored a hat-trick. And I guess, well, it must have been fate because he endeared himself to the Knights fans and administrators and his teammates as well. Became a legend at the club and a coach as well after his career was cut short. Coached the juniors. He mentored the great Branko Kalina as well. And he was the senior coach during the 70s. He was the go-to caretaker coach for the club and the technical and selection committee lead as well for many years. So condolences to all friends and family of Duje, a legend of the club. And, well, there must be some great stories that people will be telling about his legacy in football in Australia in the coming days as he's remembered. With his funeral taking place at the Croatian church in Clifton Hill, I think next Tuesday there'll be some fond memories, I'm sure, of Duje and the legacy that he leaves at the Knights. On the attack again here. Play by Dreshovic.
Yeah, we need to remember these important stories, these stalwarts of the club, and it's great that the Knights are celebrating people from the past and recent people who've contributed to the club and every club here. And we forget, football's been a big culture in Australia, and a lot of these clubs have a lot of history, and it's great to see these stories coming out, Stephen.
Absolutely, and again, we do pass on our condolences to friends and family and all those people who hold Duje close to their hearts. The Knights are here in Australia and back in the Dalmatian region of Croatia. So the fans here, the Croatian fans, will be happy with the national team's performance, turning back the clock with a 2-0 win against France of all teams, a team that they've struggled against in the Nations League this morning in Split.
Yeah. I mean, Croatia's always a very difficult team to beat and always developing players. And, the French, on their day can go either way. So, and we saw them yesterday. I mean, Indonesia did very well early on against Australia, but it changes very quickly.
Ball over the top. Shepherd the target. He's been a little bit quiet by his standards. He's done well here, combining with Bramwell. Bramwell might try his luck here from distance. Scuffs the shot, drags it past the upright, and Daniel Graskowski there is clinging on to the likelihood of a clean sheet. Doesn't need to dirty that yellow kit with a flying attempted save.
Yeah, Bramwell, the top scorer for Knights this year, 3 goals. He's a natural scorer. He'll be a bit disappointed with that shot. But Groskovsky, I've heard from certain sources that he's a very, very good up-and-coming keeper. So really good to get an opportunity today.
All forward by Nicolaides. Bramwell again dropping deep to get on the ball. Competing with Dio. Throw taken quickly. Bramwell was quick to react. Top of the box. No one there for the night side, and it was picked up by Stasi Georgikopoulos. Using the socks down. I referred to him as Nicolaides earlier. Apologies for that. But Stasi, interesting story. He spent some time in Spain, and he's lined up now in the Victory Academy. He was an interesting prospect over there, but he looks like a decent deep-lying midfield playmaker. With that, maybe he's got a little bit of that cultural, the European sort of continental style of play in his game, Peter.
I'm not going to mention Xavi and all these players, but I will say, having dealt with a lot of players previously, a lot of Australian players, technical players, do go to Spain and really develop the game. It's just very hard for Australian players, especially since Aloisi's days when he played at Osasuna, to make it in the Spanish leagues. Because they've got so many technical players, but an experience there really develops you to another level from both the tactical and technical level, and you can see that with Stasi.
He spent some time in the youth system at Celta Vigo, more recently at Cloroxu, I hope I pronounced that correctly. 21 years of age, so he's older than the other teammates on the Victory side tonight. So looking at the list of players, so many 18 and 19-year-olds out there for the Victory side tonight. As we mentioned, Jinfries on international duty with the under-23s. I mentioned that they are playing, it's the UAE that they're playing tomorrow, and then they'll be playing Qatar on Tuesday. Ball into the box. It's away by Bozanowski, who's been an expert leader of the defence so far tonight. So just 19 years of age against more experienced players, and he looks like he's the player with bags of experience. If you weren't aware of their age, his Wolves touch just lets him down a little bit there. He's disappointing to see it go over the touchline. Here's Karlovic. This is Morton dropping in between the central defenders to get on the ball. Carrigan in game 100, the former Victory defender, arriving at the Knights via a stint at the Bentley Greens. It's in by Karlovic. Again, it's away by Bozanowski. You can see him just really enjoying making those clearances there once again. Steve White looking for space. Morton. As I mentioned, there's no Juzal in the starting 11 for the Knights tonight, who's being dropped to the bench for this one. Oh, and there's been a divot there taken, I think, by Bresovic. The pitch looked pretty good when we walked across the venue earlier. Maybe a little bit heavy underfoot in certain areas with a little bit of rain during the week, and maybe a little bit overwatered perhaps. So you can see the huge divot's been taken there, so we might have to get the groundsman to replace that at half-time.
I like the way Victory have set up the two holding midfielders. I mentioned Georgikopoulos. I think both really setting up the 6 and the 16, in other words, are really set up and buzzing right in front, protecting their back four, and that's really helping them control the Melbourne Knights at the moment.
There's Morton, who's buzzing about, getting across all parts of the field, barking orders at his teammates as they prepare to try and win the ball back. Conceding the throw here, and Nicolaides is straight to it, but he's conceded it straight away. Back on the ball now, Dion Nicolaides. Bramwell. Nice ball inside to Lawless, who finds space for the shot. It was rising. It wasn't too far away either. Just couldn't keep the shot down, and ask any questions there of the young Daniel Graskowski. Come in for Siciliano tonight.
Yeah, Bozanowski, the captain, was not happy with the defence there. He didn't like that shot was made quite easily. It was rising, but he wasn't happy with the way the pressure was on and allowing that to happen.
Obani. Forward by Radamisis. Obani again, who's trying to show a clean pair of heels to the Knights midfielders. Bresovic has just Just about got away with that one. Stefan Brezovic lining up on the right-hand side of the back three tonight. Carrigan in that position that's been occupied by Miguel Cunha, the Portuguese defender, in the centre of the back three. The captain of the defence, if you will.
Yeah, normally a towering figure, but not here tonight. But look, it gives other people an opportunity. Someone like Karlovic.
It's a decent ball by Shepherd, and Bramwell could be in here. Pressure from Bozanowski forces him to go back. Ball was trying to jink through one or two players. He got past the first, which was Radomisis. Razmovski now. Calm in possession here is Kane Razmovski, but he's run into trouble in the shape of Fraser Dunlop, who's motoring forward here. Here's Shepherd. The Knights find the goal to get them back into this one. Nice little futsal style skills by Kane Shepherd. Edge of the area. Will he try his luck? It's blocked again, that time by Bozanowski, who's been everywhere in the Victory defence so far. Victory have got a player down here, so we might have a slight delay as a referee, Jock Quartermain, is over to assess the damage.
You mentioned Fraser Dunlop. He also was rated as one of the young players to look out for this year. Has been a bit quiet. He's got a lot of speed, and I think maybe having scored, 2 goals, second highest scorer this year for the Knights, probably need to get him more into the game. The Knights have been playing more on the left side with Nicolaides. Morden's been going to spaces, Bramwell as well. But maybe I think they need to look at towards the right side and get Dunlop's speed back into the game.
They might need to look to definitely expose the Victory defence in the wide areas, with Bozanowski really dominating that central part of the field. And Nicolaides is back on his feet. He's going to be okay to continue, the goal scorer. Nicolaides coming on off the bench last week into the starting 11 tonight, and into the starting 11 with a bang, with a well-taken goal sent up by Patrick Wall. Another good story, Patrick Wall as well for Victory, scoring on his debut for their senior NPL team last week. The North Geelong youth product, part of the, we call it the Alco Park Football Factory. Where's the number 22, as worn by his dad, who passed away last December, so not that long ago. So where's the shirt number in honour of his dad, who was a coach at North Geelong Warriors as well, and a handy player as well in the Geelong region competition as well. And would you believe it as well, that goal last week that was scored by Patrick Wall, the clock said 22 minutes and 30 seconds when it hit the back of the net.
Yes, it was actually published, I think, on Instagram, or could have been Facebook, by the A-Leagues. A teenager being Wall, wearing his father's number 22. Just an amazing story there, and getting his first goal in terms of his first NPL debut. So here he goes.
Here he goes on the ball again. So his father would be so proud of him. He's 18 years of age. It's like he's picture of determination out there again, as he was last week, Patrick Wall. Definitely his father David would be super proud of what he's contributed, and very impressed with. It's like a really promising prospect for the Victory side coming out of the Geelong region.
Yeah, he's got a bit of an engine. He's a striker, can play with another striker, maybe as a second striker, but also he's got a bit of speed, so can play the wing as well.
It's not the best attempted through ball that we'll see tonight, and it runs out of play. And it's funny, actually, you look at Gabriel Matai, he hasn't really had too much to do. He hasn't had too many saves to make. I actually remember him making any saves, actually. Victory, that one attempt on target, and it found the back of the net. Nicolaides, the difference between the two sides at the moment. If you have just joined us, Steve Curtin and Peter Paleologus on the call. NPL Victoria round 7, and Victory winning a free kick right in front of our broadcast position on the Quarry side of Topset Stadium. It's a bit of a new look to the venues. Various upgrades have gone on in the off-season since we're here. A lot of new asphalt, as we've heard from the sponsors branding, but even the Scoria Hill here, the old sleepers have been ripped up, and we've got a bit of it's a little bit muddy out there at the moment, but there's some redevelopments to happen on the old Scoria Hills here on the outer side and behind the goals as well. As Victory's getting forward here through Deho. mentioned another one of those young players to come out of Alco Park down in the Geelong region.
Dio disappointed himself. That final pass was just not good enough. Really surged forward and put pressure on the back three, I should say, from the Knights, and really push him back. But you can tell from his body language, he knew could have done better and got that ball behind for Minatoli.
Victory going to go all the way back here to shot stopper Daniel Graskowski. He's Dunlop. Oh, well read again that time. Stassi Georgikopoulos was winning the ball back, and eventually Victory do get the free kick, and lots of players and fans gathered here. I'm not too impressed. Less than 10 minutes till half-time. Victory good value for their 1-0 lead here against the Knights at Thompson Stadium. Friday night football, 7:30 kickoff to start round 7. Go around the ground soon as well, Peter, with plenty of action happening tonight.
Plenty of action, and the only action, we saw some stats here, and I might as well raise it. NPL Victoria, the stats in some of the matches, people viewing in, and it's an honour for all of us to present and commentate on these matches, but really people, especially today, there's no A-League, obviously Australia play the Socceroos. There's 4 matches today, I believe, but people tuning in to see some really good football, and a lot of these Victory players, but also some of the young players from the Knights, are part of the future. I mean, the stats are always difficult. 1 to 5% make pro out of the young, talented players. But we're seeing a lot of talent here tonight, Stephen.
Absolutely. Well, every time we see this young Victory side in action, we're seeing a lot of young talent, and he's one of those young prospects now. Ganino, the left winger. He's going to play it back here to Obani. Here's Mihalides, the goal scorer, who doesn't mind shooting from distance. He's employed the shoot-on-sight policy, not for the first time tonight. One was always going over and not troubling Gabriel Mate, who, if we check the stats, I don't think he's made a save yet.
No, he hasn't, but I think there's also maybe some instructions, because he's the new keeper. He's replaced Oldfield, maybe to test him from different angles, and we know that Mihalides, not shy to do that, has got a very good shot.
Victory were able to double their lead before half-time. Be a long, long way back for the Knights, as that one's out of play by Damien Borzanowski, who's been as good as anyone out there on the park in the first 45. White and Nicolaides not on the same page there. It's not the first time we've seen the circuits breaking down between the Knights midfield tonight.
Yeah, I think Ivan French will be a bit disappointed. Not enough high press for the Melbourne Knights, shouldn't have pushed back the Victory defenders. But also some of the sloppiness and passing hasn't been, things haven't been on par, and you really got to be a bit sharp. Actually, Victory play, they've got a good repertoire of skills, a lot of their players, so it can be quite neat. And Knights really have to step it up a little bit more.
Here in the way of the Victory side, and coach Boris Sorostin is going to be impressed with what he has seen in the first 45 minutes, as we see Mihalides standing over the dead ball, and some of the tall timber, including the big central defenders, are going to lope forward. Radamesis and Borzanowski, a couple of obvious targets. So it's all about the quality of the delivery here from Mihalides. Defensive line is set just outside the penalty area. He goes to that back post. It's initial header by the towering figure of Stefan Brešević, who goes and wins his own second ball. Finds Shepherd up the line. Well played by the Knights in this little triangle here, but can they play themselves out and get further up the park? That is the question. Good ball by White. First touch was almost a bit heavy by Bramwell, but he found Karlovic. Nicolaides under pressure from Minatoli, who hasn't been seen too much in this one, but he's certainly played his role. Victory happy to absorb and then hit on the break. Minatoli is very much a key to that tactic.
Yeah, he's the #1 striker. Minatoli scored the most goals. I think it's 2 this year for the 2 goals. The only multiple goal scorer for the Victory. I mean, they do share it around, but he is the lead striker. They don't have, we know, in terms of Jurakovic went to Oakley. He was a big striker last year. They're obviously missing him. Minatoli was the other striker last year who really got that promotion from VPL 1 into the NPL. But Minatoli, he's also quite mobile for a number 9, I would say.
Certainly quick off the mark, and there's a handful for these Lynx defenders. Seeing Thomas Karlovic lining up on the left-hand side of the defence. He's been lining up in various places across the back three, but Carrigan taking that central defensive role in the middle of the back three tonight. Here's Steve White in the middle of the park here. Shepherd. He's looking for the run that was coming past, which was from Kieran Bramwell, but he's giving away the free kick here, and it's Georgakopoulos again, who's really been a key contributor in the centre of the park.
As you can see, Shepherd's come pretty much halfway. A couple of times they collect the ball. Now, if you're going to transition and attack, you need to get that ball a little bit closer to the Melbourne Victory defensive line.
Here's Wall again, well-read Karlovic. Yeah, absolutely right, Peter. And you can see the Knights falling down in these parts of the field when they get to these sort of positions. Victory defensive shape. It's a well-organised one. I've been impressed with what I've seen. There's not too much space you can see there between the defensive lines, between the back four and the next block of four when they're without the ball, as you mentioned in that block of 4 and 2 when they're without possession.
Yeah, it's those two holding midfielders coming in. They had a mid-block before. They dropped a little bit back now, Victory, in terms of the defensive structure. Maybe a bit tiredness towards the end of the first half. But really, look at Bozanovsky. And I want to focus on one player, but he's leading, he's making sure he's communicating, and that's why he's the captain, but also making sure that all the 4 defenders are working together, plus the 2 defensive midfielders.
You can see the expression on his face from here, Bozanovsky. He's a picture of focus. A really good leader. That's why he's in the captain's armband. Here's a snapshot again, and it's a good save. Forced the shot from Dunlop, and Daniel Graskowski into action, not for the first time tonight. Really good save earlier from the free kick from Morton, and that time again diving in the same direction to not deny Dunlop, who fired the attempt in on his non-preferred left foot. It was a decent effort by the former Port Melbourne Shark.
Yeah, highly regarded Dunlop. Got to get him more into the game. He's got the speed, he's got a bit of the technique, and really got to get more into those dangerous positions. And that's the Knights really got to start looking at him as an avenue to goal. But great shot.
Waiting the corner kick to be taken, and referee Jock Quartermain's going to sort out this roving maul of players in the 6-yard box. A little bit of attention on Daniel Graskowski, the goalkeeper. Looks like Obani trying to shepherd the Knights players away from him as it comes into the back post area. Again, it's Bozanovsky winning everything in the air. Georgakopoulos. This is Ganino. This is where the Victory side is dangerous. Here's Wall. Karlovic got the foot in, and the Knights are able to make the clearance. But Georgakopoulos again, that diminutive figure at the base of the Victory midfield. He's been outstanding in this first 45. Here he is on the ball again.
Yeah. I mean, Michaelides, Georgakopoulos, Razmosky, as I mentioned, was team of the week last NPL team of the week last week, getting more into the game. Wall will be disappointed there. He probably used the wrong leg to get, because they were on the surge, and he just made that error. That was a chance to get behind, because they had 3 players moving forward, so he would be disappointed.
He definitely showed the ball to Karlovic on Karlovic's preferred tackling foot. He was able to get the foot in. Body contact in the outer wing here, but play on is the call from referee Quartermain. And Victory going to come away with the ball just about, and they're going to win the free kick in the end. And it's a good bit of hassling from Kane Razmosky and Stasi Georgakopoulos performing that double pivot in front of the back 4 and doing a really good job with Michaelides sitting just in front of them as number 10.
You can see the Victory players now. This is round 6-7. Getting that confidence, getting a little bit more of that physicality. Very interested by the end of the season where they're at, a lot of these players. I mean, I know they've got a squad of 44, but not scared to challenge, younger players and really stepping it up.
Comes the Free kick from Michaelides. It's allowed to bounce in the penalty area. Dangerous stuff here by the Knights, and they're clearing it away. Here's the 100-gamer in NPL Victoria, Ben Carrigan, but it's all Victory players back here. Wolzanowski, Georgikopoulos. This is Diho. Michaelides. It's a clever first touch because it was out into space, and it saw Michaelides jump in and challenge for the ball. And the 3 minutes of first half stoppage time has already evaporated here. It's gone very quickly, and well, that has flown by, Peter, but Melbourne Victory, a masterclass there at how to come to someone else's venue and put on an expert performance of discipline defending, and really getting on your front foot when you go forward as well.
Yeah, so controlling a lot of the game, and when they're not controlling the game, very well structured. Defensively, the front two midfielders here just in front of the defence. The forwards are working hard.
in North Sunshine. We are about to get underway for the second 45, and if you have just joined us, it was Jack Mihalides scoring on 18 minutes for the victory. Gives us the halftime score of Melbourne Knights 0, Melbourne Victory 1. Thanks for your company. NPL Victoria Friday Night Football, round 7 of the competition. Steve Curtin with you, and alongside me, a very warm welcome back to the commentary position after our second half soiree is Peter Paleologus. Good evening.
Good evening, Stephen. Looking forward to this second half. I don't think there's been any changes, but really I can see the Knights. I see a little bit of urgency in terms of their players, and really Ivan Franich will probably be very fired up about their performance for the first half.
It's a free kick here, and good bit of play by Dunlop, who put his body in the right position to make it difficult for the defender, and the yellow card is out of the pocket as well from our match referee Jock Quartermain.
I think it could be Wall, Stephen. Not sure, but
he's pleading his innocence. It does look like it is Pat Wall.
He's a bit disappointed in that, giving away that yellow card, but yeah, I think it may hit the face, so the referee had no other option there.
It's a handy position here. Nicolaides, the left footer, is the chosen taker for the in-swinging free kick. 2 in the wall. And here Daniel Graskowski organising the 2-man wall, and his defensive line there right in the 6-yard box. Nicolaides, a chance here to cause some havoc in the victory penalty area. So we await the whistle of Mr. Quartermain. It's floated into the back post. It was almost like a slower ball on cricket parlance, and the attempt coming in was from Karlovic. Blocked at close range, and he puts his hands on his head because he thought he was a genuine chance there to make things 1-1. Well, in fact, it was Brešović, actually. Here's Stefan Brešović with the chance, and, well, he doesn't score too many. Does Stefan Brešović. 24 appearances and no goals last season, or 24 appearances in the match day squad at least. On the attack here. There's Wall. He switched onto the left-hand side of the attack for the second half. It was his ball that was tallying in the first half.
Yeah, Brešović, I was in line with that, Steve. That was going in. He was very disappointed, the ex-Dandy City player. That was a great opportunity. He was going in the top corner, but just that ricochet just missed. You can tell his body language was so disappointed. Chance to get on the scoreboard.
Many chances getting forward from central defence for a chance like that, and that's probably why he's kicking himself. Mentioned York City, where he spent last season 15 appearances in the matchday squad for Stefan Brešović. Goals last year and no goals this year as yet as well. Maybe he'll get another chance later on if the Knights can create more final third entries and set piece opportunities. They have certainly had the better of the amount of set pieces, free kicks and corners. As we said, Victory have just had the one shot on target, and they've reaped full rewards for that. A well-worked goal by the Victory youngsters. Talented bunch of 18, 19 and 20-year-olds, and one 21-year-old in the lineup tonight, Anastasios Georgikopoulos. One new sub last week. 21-year-old, and Brešović thought he might have given away a free kick against Wall there, but play on is the call, and Brešović is going to play it into Bramwell, who showed too much of the ball to Michaelides, the goal scorer from earlier. Barney's long ball, it hangs in the air as a flying aircraft, but it didn't quite fly that high.
Yeah, Michaelides is not just a goal scorer, not just a passer, not just an attacking player, but also good jeweler. He's gone in there a few times and able to dispossess the bigger, stronger Knights players.
That's the long ball forward. Dunlop's just about going to be onside here, is he? Yes, he is. Shepherd now riding shotgun and providing a bit of support. Dunlop drops the shoulder and tries to turn on the afterburners, that pace that we were talking about earlier. Still he goes. Combining with Nicolaides, the two wing-backs meeting in the centre of the park for the Knights. Ball in by Shepherd. Again, it's Bozanowski with the defensive clearing header. White tries his luck, and that wasn't too far away from Steve White. A left-footed, long-range effort by the Knights skipper. That one be what it takes to get them back into this game. They're trying a bit of everything, but nothing's working at the moment.
Nothing's working. You've got Steve White waiting for the ball, the second ball there, and it was a right position just wide of Greskowski. And I just noticed that Greskowski's one of the 3 players in this Melbourne Victory NPL team. 2 are not playing tonight, Collingham and Lau, who actually has got a senior scholarship with the Melbourne Victory Seniors. So Greskowski, very highly regarded.
Good little knockdown by Lawless there, but he couldn't quite find Bramwell, and it was Georgakopoulos again who was breaking up the Knights' attack. Trying to turn defence into attack here for the Victory. Ganino goes to ground as Austin Ganino, who's swapped out to the right-hand side. Ganino and Wall, the 2 wingers, swapping roles at half-time. Wall moving on to the left, Ganino onto the right.
Yeah, Victory pretty much the same setup. Tactically, you've got a 4-4-2, but the two midfielders are deep lying in front of the defence, and the 2 wingers are playing pretty much up and down like wing backs. So pretty much the same structure as the first half. Stephen.
Here's Dunlop. His initial crossing attempt was blocked by Obani. It's going to retain possession here. Nicolaides is out on the touchline. You can see the chalk on his boots from here, and it's cleared out of play by Raymond Deho. So the Knights certainly taking the Victory side back, but the Victory don't mind absorbing the pressure and hitting on the break. They've got so much pace in the wide areas and through the middle through Minatoli. I feel like we're banging on about it, but it's certainly a tactic that's working for them at the moment, especially as they sit on this 1-0 buffer. If we do look around the grounds as well, Peter, we've got the only goal of the evening as well. Half-time, Dandenong City and Heidelberg down at Frank Holohan locked at 0-0. And in the early stages up at Broadmeadows, it's Hume City 0, South Melbourne 0, Preston Lions and Oakley Cannons also 0-0. So got the only goal of the game of the night so far as Dunlop gets the chance at the back post, and that's Fraser Dunlop's turn to put his hands to his head as he can't believe that he hasn't opened the scoring for the Knights there.
Yeah, we talked about Dunlop needed to be involved more in the game, and I think he shows why he's so dangerous. Great opportunity, Greskowski in the right place, right time. Very good reading of the play, but Fraser Dunlop is probably one of the main outlets now for Knights to get back into this game, Stephen.
It's going to be Nicolaides with the in-swinger here. It's a crowded 6-yard box in front of young Greskowski, who did, as you said, completed a great save to deny Dunlop. Oh, and he's flying through the air, not claiming that one at all. He went for an absolute specky. Did not make any contact with the mitre football. Nicolaides gave that one everything. Gave it perhaps a little too much.
Disappointing Nicolaides. Last year, watching him really provide a lot of attacking forays and really some dangerous passes. But today, just a little bit off. But I'm sure, he'll get his opportunity. But got to do better than that. Got to get that right into the box.
Aerial duel, and it's Dunlop picking up the second ball, but he's coughed up possession here to Patrick Wall, who's on a slaloming run through the centre of Topset Stadium. Here's Ganino looking for the early ball, and again, it's the latest in a succession of fairly average crosses that we've seen here at the start of the second 45 at Topset Stadium in this contest. It's still Victory with the 1-0 buffer over the Knights.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Ganino in this game. He hasn't shown a lot of his pace, maybe not the right opportunities, but really got to do better than that.
Giving chase to that little knockdown from Razmovsky. A little bit too much on the knockdown, so it's going to be out of play for a Knights throw, and the Knights are going to try and play something direct here. Lawless giving chase, but it's going to run harmlessly through to Greskowski, who's really enjoying himself out there. He's made 3 or 4 quite decent saves. He's been throwing himself about, trying to come and claim some crosses as well. One for the highlights reel in the previous one, perhaps.
Got away with that one. It was a little bit messy all over the place. Probably his only mistake so far. But, he shows he's comfortable on crosses. Just got to get it right.
Impressive bit of play there from Patrick Wall again. It's amazing that Victory have got these guys 18 years of age playing in their second-tier NPL sides, and they can promote them up and they can really mix it with the big boys of NPL Victoria. And here's another chance for Ganino to supply the cross. Karlovic got a foot in, and it's going to be ricocheted all the way back here to Deho. Looking for his options. Lazmowski. One behind the ball here for the Knights. Bozanowski being a standout in central defence tonight. Radomisis looks for the direct ball. Wall's the target. It's a good ball by Radomisis, and Wall's touch was a fraction too heavy. He had a couple of Knights players for close company, and they're able to pick the ball back.
Melbourne Victory, they mix it up. They can have a slow build-up, and then that quick ball. Wall unfortunately didn't get it across, but really they know how to really slow the game down and then go for the transition. So it's very well coached, and really also with the low block at the moment, structuring, know that the Knights want to get on the attack and just putting a lot of players behind it and everyone working hard.
Knights trying to build something here. Dunlop. This is Brečević. Good chance when it fell to him at close range from the corner kick before. All the way back to Karlovic, and there's a couple of subs warming up here for Ivan Franic's side. He's seen enough, and it's time to swing some changes. That's a good turn by Lawless. Had his shirt pulled, you could see it from here, but advantage is the call. And again, it's cleared by Bozanowski. Only as far as Steve White, who tries his luck. And what a great save at full stretch. Daniel Graskowski, who's having an absolute blinder of a game. Another one for the Daniel Graskowski highlights reel.
And that's why he got a scholarship contract, showed his class there. But Steve White, that's a couple of chances. One was the second ball, and that one a fantastic shot, but Graskowski got down there. We've actually got a couple of substitutions. We might just monitor those at the moment.
Looks like it's going to be a chance for the number 15, which is it's a club debut for Darcy Anastosky. So attacking weapon from the Altona Magic of last year. And we'll talk more about his signing for the Knights. And the other change is we're seeing Kane Shepherd. So it's Dunlop and Shepherd off. Anastosky coming on. Comes to corner from Nicolaides. Into the back post, and it's another save. Pushed away by Graskowski. The whistle's gone here. And we'll just confirm that is Darcy Anastosky in the yellow boots, the number 15 out there. And it is Sheba is the other player who has entered the fray here. So a like for like. Well, both like for likes really. Sheba swapping for Dunlop as the right wing back. And moving into the front three, Shepherd off. Maybe a fraction more attacking, Peter, taking out Shepherd, who's been playing as a 10 for Darcy Anastosky. And again, yet another form of Victory player.
Yes, it seems like Victory's got its imprint on a lot of players here tonight. And I want to talk about the Lupalau effect. And what I want to say here is about what we saw last night. A Melbourne Victory NPL player went into the seniors and just showed the pathway for a lot of these young players that are coming forward. We know we're talking about the A-League, a lot of young players getting opportunities. And for me, one of the narratives of this game is the Lupalau effect after what happened yesterday, where a lot of NPL players, there are pathways. We know, and I've mentioned this before, only 1 to 5% make pro in terms of the talented academy players. But a lot of these players, as you mentioned, Stephen, 18, 19, can see what Valupalau's done and really aspire to that. And I think that's one of the important narratives that we're seeing in NPL, but in Australian football as well.
A couple of changes here for Victory, and they've switched both of their wingers and both of the replacements, Jordan and Jesse Hoey. So it looks like Jordan lining up on the right-hand side of the attack, Jesse on the left-hand side. That's our broadcast side here. Jordan on the Mike Viduka stand side. So that's the end of proceedings for Austin Ganino and Patrick Wall. Patrick Wall will be happy with his contribution again tonight. Doesn't bag a goal for the second week in a row after his debut last week, but a fine assist. Also played a role in the third goal last week as well, or the second goal, should I say, that led to a Camus own goal by Port Melbourne scoring the goal for Victory side on that occasion to give them a 3-0 lead. Here's the fresh legs. This is Jordan Hoey on the far side, the diminutive figure, and the number 14. Two 19-year-old twins out there. Hoey on the overlap, getting in behind and setting it up for the twin brother, Jesse. What a combination that could have been. Nearly devastating, and the Knights got away with that one.
I haven't seen much of the Hoey brothers, I have to say, and for a first opportunity, a great impact. Could have done a little bit better in that finish. I know the defender got in the way, but it's good. I haven't seen twin brothers play together, so very interesting that Victory made that change.
The Knights are on the charge here. It's going to be an opportunity almost for Anastosky, but Bramwell's pass was left a little bit short. Here's another pair of fresh legs in Matasu Sheba. Player stepping up from State League football with the Altona East Phoenix last season. Anastosky trying to turn his opponent. Trying to use that body work. Sheba, Anastosky, the two subs combining. Left the back post. I'm not sure who that's aiming for, and that's out of play in front of the Victory fans gathered over there who are enjoying their away day here at Summer Street.
Yeah, Anastosky just probably getting into the game. Sheba's an interesting one. I mentioned this last week. We're getting a lot more Japanese players coming down to the NPL Victoria, which is great to see. We've seen that over the years in New South Wales and also Queensland, but a lot of players now gravitating to the NPL Victoria, which mixes it up for us, and that's why I've always said the NPL Victoria is the best NPL in Australia.
There's no arguments coming from myself on that point, Peter. There's no doubt about that as Victory moving the ball from left to right here. Metamesis and Bozanovsky very well, that combination in central defence. Clearly a very good understanding of each other's game. This is a good duel between the two substitutes. Sheba, who's just about going to win out here against Jesse Hoey. So Jesse on this left-hand side. Here he is getting on the ball here. This is Jesse Hoey finding a good pocket of space, a slaloming run, and really well placed there was Thomas Karlovic to nod that one away, because there was not one but two Victory players making runs in behind the Knights' defensive line. Anastosky again using his body. Really good duel so far between him and the fullback in Albani. He's channeling a bit of Bruno Fornaroli the way he's trying to turn his opponent there.
Possibly Anastosky adding a lot of power up front. Need to get him more in the game. Jesse Hoey disappointed with that. Had two players on the right. Should have done a little bit better. Get that ball through, because that was a great opportunity for Victory.
Bozanovsky all the way back to Graskowski. It's been a really good display by Boris Sarostin's team tonight. Assistant coach Matt Sultana doing a fantastic job. The Victory staff here looking after this NPL side in their top flight season after a long time. These sides have met before back in 2016, so long ago. And it was a 2-1 win for the Knights on that occasion at the Epping Stadium. Josh Brecalo and Jason Hicks with the goal. And on the score sheet, a well-known player for Melbourne Victory, Stefan Negro, in that 2-1 loss for the Victory.
Stefan Negro now at Preston has a long career, and yeah, it's very interesting that we've seen in other states that NPL, where A-League teams have had their, we see Adelaide United in the NPL South Australia, we've seen it in New South Wales. This is the year we've got it in Victoria, and mind you, we've got City and Western, I think, second and third in the VPL, so it's going to change. A lot of younger players coming through. It's going to change maybe the atmosphere or the narrative of the NPL, but that's exciting to see. We want to see exciting players, and with maybe the national second division as well as a layer on top of that, Australian football's in good hands, because we need a change in youth development, and this may be what we're looking forward to.
Very much looking forward to that later in the year. There's no doubt about that, and it's going to be big announcements to come in the coming weeks and months as that edges closer and closer. At least we've got three committed Victorian sides to the cause, and Preston, South Melbourne and Avondale. And speaking of Preston, they have taken a 1-0 lead at BT Connor. Sheba's going to try his luck here. Preston taking a 1-0 lead against the Oakley Cannons. They lead that one 1-0 on 22 minutes, and that's the only other goal that we've got from around the ground tonight. Still 0-0 between Dandenong City and Heidelberg United, as well as that big clash out at Broadmeadows. Hume City and South Melbourne both 0-0 that fixture that South Melbourne just narrowly got the edge over Hume City every single time in their 4 meetings in League and Cup last year by a solitary goal.
Yes, and South Melbourne not doing that well this year, but yet last year they had the edge over Hume. This match is important because we know that 2 teams get relegated. 1 team will go to the relegation playoff. Victory in 12th. The Knights just a little bit higher, so very important. And it's a very, besides maybe Avondale, at the moment it's been a very, very tough NPL. So all points count, and the Victory, a big result tonight, will really set up their season. The Knights will be worried, just a bit like South Melbourne, on a bit of a downward spiral, but I would say they're still in this match.
Look at the Knights' form line, only 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5. Doesn't read too well. That win back in round 1 certainly was getting themselves off to a good start, but it's going to be the Victory side making the change here. Thomas Minatoli, his shift is done, and he's replaced by Daniel Lazareski, the 18-year-old who came off the bench and scored last week from a very acute angle as well. Daniel Lazareski, son of Nick, a proven goal scorer, and Daniel showing that he can do just the same last week down at J.L. Murphy against Port Melbourne, a former Pascoe Vale junior. And I heard a story about him reeling in a big tuna as a child, which is a whole nother kettle of fish. No pun intended.
I won't go into that, but it's good to see a lot of sons of ex-players come through, and especially come through a lot of the ranks here and getting opportunities in terms of the academies, and I think we'll see more of that going forward. But very interesting player, Lazareski.
Getting on the ball here. He's got an opportunity to play the ball through for Hoey. This is Jesse getting on the ball. His initial attempt was blocked and it fell back to him. So it's like Giselle out there on the far side has entered the fray as well for the Knight side. Ball into the back post area. And getting back is Matai.
Ramzowski, he really works hard. He really, really gets physical in there, and that's where I think he's a bit underestimated. I mentioned he was Team of the Week last week, but you can tell he's always in there and really got the physicality to deal with the NPL. The other thing I was going to say was that Victory are playing a bit of hybrid defending. A couple of players are marking, the other players are zoning. So that's at this time of late in the game, it's a good way to be, because you're basically ensuring keeping the key players marked, but you're also making sure your defence has got the layers in place.
You'd imagine, Peter, as well, one of the benefits of having this team playing in a decent competition like NPL Victoria, a very decent competition at that, it gives these players a chance to play with the same structures as what we see in the senior A-League side, that give themselves the best possible chance for them to step into the limelight should an opportunity exist at that professional level in the A-League men's.
That's right. Week in, week out, big games. A lot of the Victory players, they train 4 times a week. They're playing NPL men's. Really, their development's accelerating here. No doubt about it.
I must apologise. I mentioned that Anthony Duzel may have entered the fray. In fact, I just read the number 5. It was just Thomas Karlovic going on an adventure into midfield. It's going to be a free kick here to the Victory side. And it's going to be the second booking of the evening, as the card is out for the substitute, Darcy Anastosky, the former Altona Magic striker, on his club debut, goes into the book. He'd like to be going into the referee's notebook for scoring a goal, but he does go in for a yellow card.
Interesting, the Knights haven't made that many adjustments in terms of, I would say, the formation. Still playing the 3 at the back. You see Chiba pretty much 5-3-2, but yeah, it's not much adjustments here. I would have thought maybe French makes those adjustments now, but at this stage he's just hopefully waiting for some of the players like Anastovsky and Chiba to get back into the game.
Coughing up possession here. The Knights have had the more of the territorial advantage in the second half, but they haven't had anything to show for it. They're going to be making a couple more changes here, so will they be more like for likes, as you were just mentioning, Peter, or will they look to make a formation change here and try and create some overloads in some different parts of the pitch? As Lazareski's ball is played through here to Jordan Hoey, getting in behind the Knights' defence, combining with brother Jesse. One Hoey to another, and the Victory side have doubled their lead. What a sweeping move that was down the right-hand side.
Fantastic
Tucked
transition
away by
move.
Jesse Hoey. Fantastic.
Fantastic transition move. Sorry there, Stephen. I got excited, but the two brothers, we haven't seen that often, and it's just amazing to be able to combine and get that result. But that was a huge, fast transition. Both Hoey brothers got a lot of speed. The Knights pushed up quite a bit. However, Jesse Hoey, great finish, and really that's another story for the Melbourne Victory. Last week was Wall, now the Hoey brothers, Stephen.
Yeah, there's just a constant stream of feel-good stories coming out of this Melbourne Victory NPL side. It's just left the Melbourne Knights feeling a bit unwell here at the moment as they stare in the barrel of a 2-0 deficit now. They've got it all to do here. And it's Stefan Bresovic who has gone off. Confirm who the player that's come on. Also, Alex Hurd has entered the fray as well, and you can see him, the blonde pair, getting on the ball now. He's lining up as the left-sided wing-back.
It's Alex Hurd, James Hurd's son. Good to see him come on the field. I think the Knights now really got to ramp it up in terms of their attacking mindset, because 2-0 behind, not much time left.
Victory who've given as good as they got. They haven't created a heap of chances, but when they have, they've made really good, they're very good looks at goal, and team moves, they've been able to put it away. Here's Lazareski, and it's a good block getting out there, Matai, to ensure that the scoreline stays just the 2-0 deficit for the Knights at the moment, and it's out of play for a corner kick. So Knights, they need a goal quickly, but the ball is stuck at the wrong end of the field at the moment with less than 20 minutes to go in this one. They trail 2-0.
Well, Melbourne Victory have got options. I mean, we've seen Lazareski come on, create that opportunity, Hoey brothers, and really like for like. But the hard thing for the Knights is they're missing two very important players. Marzes, as I mentioned earlier, very much an X-factor player. Krantz, highly rated, and that really makes it really tough for Ivan Franich, you know, when you can't really replace those players. Obviously, Darcy Anastovsky's come in, a strong striker, but it's really hard because you base a lot of your plan for the year on those attacking players. We've got an injury here, I think. Could be Deho. Stephen?
So it's got a slight pause in play, a chance for the players to take a bit of a drink. And I'll tell you what, last time the Knights were in action here on that hot Sunday night 2 weekends ago, it was hovering around 31, no, it was something like 35 degrees, or at least something thereabouts, and also humid. And I wonder if that came into effect with the short turnaround from the Sunday night game to their terrible display that they put in against Green Gully last Friday night after playing in the hot conditions. But we're going to be able to continue here as the corner comes in, and it's Matai getting a fist to it. That'll do as far as the Knights are concerned. What can they conjure up here? It's the fresh pair of legs in the number 17, Mark Petheriotis, who's another former Victory lad as well, and scored 7 times for them in their championship-winning VPL 1 side last season. Scored on his debut for the Knights, coming off the bench at South Melbourne. On that fateful night where we saw a couple of injuries, Marzes and Carrots both going down. He was the only shining light really on that particular evening on Monday Night Football in round 2 of the season at Lakeside Stadium.
Yeah, Petheriotis, exciting player. Good that he's got an opportunity. He's got that sort of X factor.
Sheba trying to find space to get the cross in, and sliding in to meet it was Anastosky. Arrange his bearings in such a way that he could direct the attempt on Daniel Graskowski's goal. Same smiles, Daniel Graskowski. Here he is on the ball here. They're trying to bait the defenders and play the ball over the top. Jesse Hoey giving chase, and a little bit of panic there from Thomas Karlovic perhaps as he eventually gets it back to Matai. Pulls out the 7-iron. Sheba receiving from Karlovic. Lawless. Let's need to pull something out of the bag pretty soon here. Morton. Big sliding in there. Good play by Diho. Coming into the team. Wasn't one who featured in the matchday squad last week. In the 3-0 win against Port Melbourne. It's impressed me so far, the right back.
Yeah, he has a very good work rate. I think Cheeba's for the Knights is pushing up, as is Hurd. I think that's what the Knights need. They need to get deep and they need to get behind. And Cheeba's really working hard, as is Hurd. They've got to get behind. And the problem is the structure of the Melbourne Victory. I've been impressed today. Their defensive structure has been very strong, and they're not letting the Knights have had the chances, but a lot of them are second balls or passes in, and really impressed with the setup today by Victory.
Jesse Hoey getting a touch of the ball, but he's put it out of play. As most is, the substitute. Jesse Hoey has a goal to his name this evening. It's his first of the season. He scored 8 times last year, but he's catching up with his brother. They're both on 1 goal for the season. As the ball comes in, big collision in the penalty area. Going to ground was Graskowski. He's still rolling around on the floor, so we're going to have a stoppage in play here with the goalkeeper down. And Jock Quartermain is over to check on the welfare of Daniel Graskowski, who is on target for a green sheet. A clean sheet. Just needs to stay out on the park. Not sure where I got green from.
I think it might be the socks. Actually, they look quite green. But Graskowski, a lot of brave there, but also Anastovsky went for that. Both players quite brave in trying to get to that ball, and Anastovsky got that little flick. We could have seen a 1-2, but just Graskowski very brave, and as we've talked him up a little bit here, has shown his class as a goalkeeper today, Stephen.
That's right, we'll get things going again with a drop ball. Forward by Radomisis, but two Knights back there. First touch by the Knights skipper Steve White. The Knights without a couple of familiar faces, a couple of leaders out there, and Chris Oldfield in goal, subbed out injured last week on that horror night at Green Valley Reserve, not only suffering the injury but also losing that game 3-0 against a team that hadn't won yet this season. And they come on the attack. Hurd's ball in, and it was a good bit of defending again by Bozanowski, who's been sensational tonight. Darcy Anastovsky, the sub, was making a good run to the near post, but Bozanowski was aware of the danger. Once again, a picture of concentration. He has not had one lapse in defence tonight.
Yeah, Bozanowski and Radomisis, very good pairing. Bozanowski showing a lot of leadership, reading of the play, motivating the team. Radomisis a bit quieter, but really a solid defender, making sure the work is a pair together.
Ball forward by Karlovic, finds Hurd. Good knockdown for Anastovsky. This is Darcy Anastovsky, one way then the other. Gets to the byline on the left peg, tries to wrangle the ball across to the penalty area, but Victory side were able to clear initially, but Knights going to come back here again. Another long range attempt. Oh, parried there by Graskowski. We've given him a big rap, and well, perhaps he should have held that one. Bozanowski with the long clearance, and we've got another Victory player down. We're going to have another delay.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit physical there. The Knights are quite desperate to get that first goal, need to get back into the match and showing a little bit of physicality. But Hurd's come on, he's changed a little bit. Chiba as well, they're trying different things. Anastovsky's really buzzing up front. Maybe not getting the support, probably need a second striker or pairing with him. But Victory are still maintaining their structure, and that's why at the moment it's still 0-2.
Alex Hurd, he had a shot in the first half of that opening night of the season game against Heidelberg United. This end right of screen that hit the post. I wonder if that could have been the sliding doors moment. He was in the starting 11 back then. If he had maybe bagged himself a goal and gone on and got some confidence, he might have been able to have a longer run in the starting 11, but he's had to settle for coming on off the bench of late. Another long range attempt. Karlovic trying his luck from an awfully, awfully long way up.
Football is about sliding door moments. Players get injured and a new player comes in, gets an opportunity, and there goes a professional pathway. They really develop. It's all about sliding moments, even for goalkeepers who, it's only one spot. You might get an opportunity today and showcase what you can do. So that's what football's about. When you're in there, you've got to take your opportunities.
is Sheba. He'll play the through ball, but it was a little header by Obani just to cut off the opportunity for Anastosky. But Sheba's on the ball again here. Looking to assess the options in the middle, but good defensive work by Georgakopoulos to screen any chance of playing the ball into the box. And now Victory can go forward. Michaelides tweaking the ball up the field. Steve White back to add a bit of steel to the defence there with the clearance. Kathriotis. Now Sheba. More space to supply the cross this time from Sheba, and it's going to land in the 6-yard box. Can it be put away by Steve Lawless? He gets it over the line. And the Knights pull back the all-important goal. It's Steve Lawless. It wasn't pretty, but it's 2-1 here at Topset Stadium. The Knights have a lifeline.
They definitely have a lifeline. I mean, someone's injured. That Lawless, just determination. He's shown a lot of determination today, and just right place, right there. Messy goal. Victor would be a little bit disappointed with that. It was a bit of a bouncing around in the box, but Lawless, right place, right time, has brought the Knights back. They've had their chances, and maybe there's a duly rewarded there.
It was just grit and determination to force the ball over the line for Steve Lawless. And the man who's down here, this is a concern for Victory because he's been their star man tonight. Expert central defender, Damian Bozanovsky, and he's just been put through his paces here by the Victory trainer. So we'll keep an eye on that. It was both Victory central defenders because it was John Radamisis who was the player who was caught in that scuffle in the back of the net as well. So both of the Victory defenders are hobbling away from the scene of the Knights' first goal of the evening. The fans here have had to wait an awfully long time for it. They do get themselves on the scoreboard in the 80th minute here. And, well, it looks like Daniel Graskowski is indicating to the subs bench that we're going to need to make a change in defence here for the Victory side.
Yeah, Bozanovsky probably, if not the most important player, definitely the leader. Put his body on the line. It was just one of those in the box, could have went anywhere. And Lawless converted. And I can see that Franich is giving a little bit of different instructions to his players. He knows that this is the chance to maybe come back. And not much time left, but they've really got to get on the offensive now. See if they can get the equaliser. The Melbourne Knights, that is.
Well, it's a real shame here to see a player who's performed so well, in Damian Bozanovsky, being helped off the field by the trainer. And it's going to really open the door, you fancy, as well for the Knights, because that stable defence that's now been unsettled a little bit, and the player coming on to replace him, it looks like it is going to be... Is it Parker Williams or Charlie Goreski, the player coming on? Keep an eye on that. So we're back underway. So the Knights reducing the deficit to just the solitary goal now. So it's game on here at Topset Stadium. There's Goreski competing for the ball. Kathriotis. In fact, it is Parker Williams, the number 20, who's slotted into central defence. Spent a bit of time at the Central Coast Mariners. He was on the bench for the Mariners in the ACL Elite against Buriram back in January 2024. So he's certainly been exposed to some higher pressure games, and a bit of high pressure defending here, you fancy, for the substitute. Parker Williams has also been sent off once this season as the 19-year-old. So good opportunity for him here to show his wares in the next 10 minutes. Ball across. It's a good defensive header again by Deho. Heard now. No nonsense from Radamisis. He must be feeling aggrieved to have lost his central defensive partner. Such a good combination, those two.
Yeah, very, very, very stable combination. Good launching pad for Victory because they provide that defensive cover and solidity where the Victory players can move forward. Haven't seen much of Parker Williams, as you mentioned. Has been a Central Coast, who also known as developing young players. It's an opportunity for him to showcase what he can do. But with the Knights, they'll be pushing these last 8, 9, 10 minutes, really just looking for that equaliser.
Bozanovsky's made it all the way around to the bench. Ball into the box. Keep an eye on the play and on the subs bench. He's going to be just taking a seat on the bench. We thought he might have been going straight down the tunnel, but hopefully that is a good sign that the injury isn't too severe, and we'll see him back out there because he's a top talent in this competition. Here's Lazarevsky playing it out wide for Jordan Hoey, who laid on the goal for brother Jesse to make the score 2-0. Here's Lazarevsky again, cutting it back to the top of the box. Shiva was in the right place at the right time to scramble the ball away. Here's Alex Hurd. So really intriguing finish to this one. Don't go anywhere if you're tuning in at home on the NPL Victoria live stream. Hope you're enjoying this one. This is a good bit of control by Darcy Anastosky. Can he combine here with Bramwell? That will be the interesting thing. We've seen the Knights lining up, Peter, with a number 9 and 2-10 sitting in behind. The 2 striker option is something that's quite viable when you're playing 3 at the back in a 3-5-2. Can we see Bramwell and Anastosky potentially make a really good strike combination up front, or are they too similar perhaps? That is the question, I suppose.
Both natural strikers. Bramwell's moving around. He's moving right, he's moving left. He's sort of changing the formation of the Knights. And Anastosky's really warming up into this match. He's really getting his opportunities. He had a header there, which is a little bit difficult. But you've got to score a goal. And you need strikers who can take the shots, take the headers. And French had nothing to lose. He's got to play an attacking mindset, especially these last few minutes.
Ball driven in by Shiba. Only finds Bramwell, who was well placed, but reaching for that one, getting his foot underneath the flight of the ball and was harmlessly over the top of the goal. So mentioning, it is interesting, Darcy Anastosky. The Knights are able to sign him. They needed someone. They had that injury crisis. Carrant's going down and also Leo Marzi going down. That just happened to be a player of the quality of Darcy Anastosky was sitting there as a free agent, hadn't intended to play. His contract with Altona Magic had expired, and they were able to come in and sign him outside of the transfer window, which is an interesting thing that we don't often see. And given the big issue that clubs deal with is how late the transfer window opens in the mid-season, the damage is often already done. This is something that we might see happening more and more often, is if there is players of sufficient quality to come in and that are unattached to a club. We see more of this in the future, Peter. Yeah,
look, it's about players being able to play. They need employment. Now, the way the transfer windows work, they're FIFA windows, and then all the national associations have their own windows, as do Football Victoria for the NPL. However, if you're a free agent and you were free before the window closed and you were released, there is an opportunity to sign up. The problem is that if a club can sign a few really good players outside the window, it might...
Ball into the box here, it's Bramwell! Oh, he couldn't direct it on target. Shiba causing all sorts of havoc on the right-hand side here. Bramwell, the chance went begging. Here's Petheriotis, floats it in. It's repelled by that victory defence. Anastosky with the snapshot. The other thing I must mention about Darcy Anastosky as well is hadn't been intended to playing, presuming he was perhaps looking at overseas travel this year or something different. The match fitness will come back and he will probably get better week on week. You would imagine this is only his first run out in a match situation for some time since last season.
Yeah, definitely showing signs. He's getting into this game, becoming more dangerous as the game progresses, and Victory getting tired.
Morton with the corner. It is the in-swing into the back post area. Karlovic is rising highest. Victory just about able to clear it away. Steve White is the man back on the halfway line, marshalling the troops here. He's going to try that raking switch of play. It's Ben Carrigan who's wandered forward from central defence, so it looks like Carrigan's been deployed as an auxiliary attacking midfielder further up the park to try and win those flick-ons. Interesting duel here. So the Knights shuffling the pack a little bit in terms of their positional play.
The Knights are pushing Victory back. As I said before, there was a mid-block, now it's a lower block. And really just pushing Victory back towards their defence and trying to get that second opportunity. You mentioned Anastosky and they can sign outside the window. Free players can sign. It just comes down also to the competition rules, because you don't want to let a club sign 3 great players during the season, because that affects the competition, the stability of the competition. So, yeah.
And you think, given the situation with the 2 injuries, it's probably not unreasonable to jump in and bring a player in. Here's a chance for Hoey. His shot is blocked. Here's Jesse. Obani, ball into the box. Lazarevsky Razmovsky, chance to shoot here, Razmovsky. It's a good block. Morton was coming in and deflected the shot away from Gabriel Mattai's goal.
Morton's had a good game, very stabilising influence compared to what happened last week at Green Gully, just sitting in front of the defenders for the Knights and really giving them some structure.
Lazarevsky now, O'Barney combining, and they're going to go to the corner flag. Is it a bit early for that, perhaps? Into the final minutes here. All over the top's going to run through to Mato. Big thanks to Giuseppe on stats tonight, who just pointed out that the Knights have had 10 shots on target. Melbourne Victory, just 2. They lead this one 2-1. Bramwell. And the Knights find that late equaliser. This Victory set to hang on here. They've been really impressive. It'd be hard luck on the Victory if they were to surrender their lead. Here's Lazarevsky, jinking one way and then the other. Carrigan getting a foot in, and the Knights are going to win the throw.
Yeah, the Victory have played really well today, well structured, taking their opportunities. But the Knights are pushing, and deservedly they're in this game, and they really want to get at least the equaliser. You can see the players, the body language, the desperation, the free licence to attack. Anastovsky, I can see he's really moving it. Lawless just unfortunately looking for a foul there, but the referee's done really good in terms of controlling this game and letting it flow. But the Knights are really pushing, and their fans are right behind them at the moment.
Not long to go here for the Victory to hang on. Here's Jesse Hoey at the byline. Razmovsky overran it. Would be not a bad place to give away a professional foul here, but they're going to keep going and play on. Is the call advantage? Getting back there again was Dino, whose positioning has been great at right back tonight. And he comes to put the pressure on Hurd. Still full of energy after the end of the 90 minutes is Diho, but the Knights have got the numbers here. Anastovsky's going to try his luck, and it's only a matter of inches away from the upright. Daniel Graskowski throwing himself again for the umpteenth time tonight, and he's hobbling away as he looks to go and pick up the ball to take the goal kick. Maybe that'll take some more time off the clock as well. Bit of professionalism by the young man as he threw himself to the grass again.
The crowd firing up there. Anastovsky really creating something, a really exciting factor there. The Knights can feel that maybe that second goal's within their reach, and Anastovsky's really added something in this second half, I would say. As you said, he hasn't had much game time, but really getting into it and creating some problems for the defences. Obviously, there's no Bozanovsky for Victory, so the defence is a little bit vulnerable, but Anastovsky really making a difference.
Had the option there to lay it off to a Knights teammate to his left, but he decided to take on the responsibility for the shot. Well, it almost paid off. And it's Victory on the attack here. This is Jordan Hoey, the number 14, out near the Melbourne Croatian merchandise tent. And they're going to concede the ball here, so taking quickly, as the Knights have to do. They're almost out of time here. Stoppage time almost evaporating as the Knights chasing this slender lead. Well, it's an errant touch by the substitute there, Parker Williams, but it's no harm done as O'Barney's able to clear the ball long. Forward by White, who's dropped in as a makeshift defender to allow Carrigan to make some forward forays. Here's Karlovic, giving directions. They need to get it forward here quickly, the Knights. Got some targets up forward, Bramwell. There's Lawless, the goal scorer, and Anastovsky. Bramwell does win the header. Who's going to win the second ball? Victory doing just about enough here. They're almost there, the Victory, to get their second win of the season in as many weeks. Unless the Knights can conjure up something special here. Morton, everyone behind the ball for Victory. And it's last chance saloon here for the Knights. It's in by White. And the header's away by O'Barney. And finds Jesse Hoey. Substitute with a little nutmeg there on Thomas Karlovic, and he's body checked by Carrigan. Was he running onto the ball anyway? Yes, says referee Quartermain. Carrigan pleading his case. That'll be just about it for the Knights, you think. They wrestled their way back into this one. Lawless scrambling the ball over the line on 81 minutes. After Mihalides and Jesse Hoey had given the Victory side a handy cushion.
Yeah, I mean, the Knights have had opportunities. I'll be disappointed they haven't equalised. One player that I haven't mentioned much is Obani. His work rate has been fantastic on this left side. Very solid player.
Here's Hoey going to try his luck. It's blocked. It's going to ricochet to Steve White. A bit of stoppage time for a few injuries in this second half, and maybe the Knights have got one more chance here. Karlovic, that was a tired ball forwards. Picked up here is Georgie Kopoulos, who's still full of running, looking to play the through ball for Lazareski. He's still out there full of running in the number 10. It was his goal that got things going in this match on 18 minutes. And the former Glen Ira Jr., who's been at the Victory since under 16 level.
Good attributes to the player, Michaelides, but also Georgia Kopoulos. But, you know, you can tell Georgia Kopoulos actually got a bit of the Spanish elements. I can tell. I've been looking at him a lot of the night. He's got that sort of mindset.
Anastosky's header, and again, it's another save into the stat book there for Daniel Graskowski, who's had a fantastic game coming in for Siciliano. He won't get the clean sheet, but he's going to be watching back some of these highlights tonight of some of the saves that he's made. They've been sensational, and he's really frustrated this Knights team. They might have thought they might have been able to put the ball past the young shot stopper a little bit more easily.
Yeah, big game, Graskowski. Maybe the difference in terms of the Knights not getting that result. Well, they've still got a little bit of time, but working hard. And French made some really good changes here and able to turn this game around, but unfortunately, 1-2.
Well, it's another win. It's 2 in a row for this young Victory side, and they're all smiles here. A fantastic professional performance by the youngsters here from the team led by Boris Sarostin. And opening the scoring, it was Jack Michaelides on 18 minutes, set up expertly by his teammate down the right flank, Patrick Wall. And then it was Jesse Hoey on 71 minutes, set up by none other than his twin brother, Jordan Hoey. Both of those players coming on as second half substitutes and making a big impact on the flanks. It was Stevie Lawless who gave the Knights a bit of hope, scoring on 81 minutes, but well, the Knights unable to really make their opportunities. A lot of shots from long distance, a lot of balls into the box, a lot of set-piece opportunities, but Victory defending so well in their defence, led by their captain, Damien Bozanowski, who limped off injured in the last 10 minutes, but he may well be the player of the match tonight, Peter.
Definitely the player of the match. Victory showed a lot of punchy mobility, a lot of their players getting behind and a lot of speed, and also a good game management at the end there. I would say Ivan French will be a bit disappointed in terms of he tried a few things, gave some players some free license in that second part of that second half. It's just missing the end product. That's all it was. Graskowski, as you mentioned, fantastic performance. Knights will be actually a much better performance than against Green Gully last week. It was the end product that was missing. Anastovsky made a big difference. If this is his first game, he's going to really add a lot, especially with those couple of Marses, as you mentioned, one of the key players missing. So still lots to look forward to for the Knights. Victories, another win, and a lot of upside and a lot of young talent coming through. Really excited for them.
Depending on other results tonight, Peter, Victory, after only getting their first win last week, and they could finish tonight as high as 7th place, depending on some of those other results that are taking place around the ground. There's a few goals flying in. But yeah, impressed with what Victory have had. That big squad, they rotated the pack. There was no Insera, there was no Menelau, there was no Siciliano, there was no Luca College out there tonight against his old team. But a really good performance by the youngsters. It seems like whoever they bring in, they know what to do, they know their role, and that's exactly what we saw tonight. There's no second guessing the way they go about it.
Yeah, there's intensity, there's speed, there's decision making, there's tactical awareness. You can tell that in terms of the players sticking to their roles, but there's also discipline. And they created a few chances, but the Knights will be disappointed. Just, as I said, Ed Product, just finishing the game off. Anastovsky made a big change and really lit them up. And I think Franich will feel a bit hard done by if he didn't get the equaliser here. But early in the season, and it's an exciting season, as you mentioned, one win can bring you up 3 spots. I'll take away Avondale, maybe take away Port Melbourne. In between there, all the teams are up for it. So exciting NPL, and please keep viewing the NPL.
That's right. It keeps delivering this league. And Melbourne Victory, they could make it 3 in a row. Next week, they'll be at home. They'll be playing at one of their home aways from home, which is John McEwen Reserve up in the Goulburn Valley region of Victoria at Shepparton against Green Gully. So a really good chance to make it 3 wins in a row. They'll also face St Albans at Churchill Reserve the following week, and then the Preston Lions at the home of the Matildas in Monday Night Football in round 10. Well, the Melbourne Knights are on a streak of home games. They'll play St Albans here next week on Sunday, followed by Preston here the following Friday, and then Dandenong Thunder, who have been in red-hot form as well the following Friday. So plenty of opportunities for the Knights to maybe get some points at home, where they have got the bulk of their points, 2 wins here this season, but they're going to need to find an extra gear, find some prime movers out there who can cause some problems defensively for these teams, and maybe Darcy Anastosky with some more match fitness can be a key to that.
Yeah, they've got the Croatian Derby coming up. That's going to be very hotly contested. We've seen St Albans have some big away wins against Oakley, against South Melbourne. Not an easy team. And then Preston coming here. The history of the NSL comes back, not just between Preston and South Melbourne, but Melbourne Knights and Preston. Really looking forward to that one.
That's right. You mentioned Preston. They're in action now. If you want to flick over to the other NPL live streams, Preston Lions and the Oakley Cannons. That match is currently in progress. Half-time, it's a 1-1. And